Hello, everyone, and welcome to another segment of Hanging with the Boss Lady. I am your host, the Boss Lady, aka Sherryl Jones, that little old country girl. I'm super excited about today because I get the opportunity to share with you one of my books. This book is entitled Sister Jones. I will be reading it to you in its entirety in different episodes. And I will be looking forward to your comments because your comments will help me to write the sequel to this book. I'm hoping that you will give me your ideas and some suggestions. And if I like it, I will definitely add it into my next book. How's that? Well, without further ado, I introduce to you Sister Jones. Denise Jones felt she had the perfect life and never stopped thanking God every day for her blessings. She had a wonderfully close relationship with her parents, a loving relationship with her husband, who also happened to be her high school sweetheart, and the most adorable set of triplets anyone could ask for. She tithed, prayed, and never complained when she had to balance her time among church, home, her job, her husband, her children, and her parents. Yes, she felt she had the perfect life and thanked God every day. Then her parents were killed, and 1 year later, her husband died. Suddenly faced with three teenage children, a broken heart, and a pain so intense she felt it would swallow her whole, she somehow had to find the strength to go on. Things seemed to finally be getting a little easier to bear when a phone call placed three half white children in her care to raise. Faced with sibling rivalry, resentment of the new children, and jealousy, Denise had to search for inner strength to keep peace in her home as well as in her mind. And as if things could not get any worse, a secret admirer decided it was time to make his feelings known. Well, all right, Sister Jones. Chapter 1, Getting Up and Getting Out. When 6 o'clock rolled around, Yvette was fully awake and had been for hours. The first day of school always had her filled with apprehension and a feeling of impending doom. Her clothes were already laid out, her hair had been braided in the style she liked, and her skin had cleared up considerably over the summer. Still, she dreaded the first day of school. Maybe it had to do with seeing who the new kids would be in her class. Maybe it had to do with she was going with who she was going to be sitting next to. Maybe it had to do with the fact that she had her monthly. Or maybe, and she was sure this was it had to do with boys. Just thinking about what lay ahead made her physically ill. She rushed to the bathroom and threw up in the toilet. After washing her face and brushing her teeth, she looked at her reflection in the mirror. The face that looked back at her showed all the anxiety and misery she felt rolling around inside of her. She hated feeling this way. She hated her hair, her clothes, her life. Vet knew she shouldn't be afraid of the many boys that constantly pursued her, but every time they pressured her for a phone number or a date, she felt a claustrophobic feeling that threatened to engulf her and make her run away and hide. These feelings were made worse by the fact that her sister had no problem giving her number to every boy that asked. The phone was always ringing for Net, and some of the boys even tried to get slick and call Net asking if they could speak. to Vet. The sisters were always arguing over Vet's refusal to patronize the many boys' advances. But Vet was adamant in her refusal to date or give her number to anyone. I'll see them in school, was all she would say. Every time the phone rang, she would cringe inside, and a cold, icy chill would creep up her spine, making her want to cry. But as always, she kept these feelings to herself. She couldn't let anyone know how unhappy she was. No one would understand. Not her mother, not her teachers, not her best friends, not her pastor, no one. She slowly walked back into her bedroom and looked at her sister sleeping peacefully, wrapped around her favorite pillow. A deep sadness engulfed her anew. No one would understand, not even her twin sister, Lynette. The alarm clock began chirping at exactly 6:15 a.m. Lynette began to stir, first stretching and then rolling over to see if her sister had heard the unwelcome invasion of their blissful slumber. When she saw her sister sitting on the bed, she turned back over and covered up her head, knowing she had another half hour before she had to get up. It had been arranged the night before that Vet, the nickname everyone gave her, would get up first. Vet sighed heavily and slowly rose, picked up her favorite shower gel, and headed toward the bathroom. She had not even reached the bathroom door when a loud bang on the bedroom wall caused her to jump. Get up! I don't want to hear nobody's mouth when I go in the bathroom, so get up and hurry up. Both girls sucked their teeth, but no one bothered to respond. They weren't expected to. That loud, demanding voice belonged to the girl's identical brother, Matthew. Although the triplets were born less than 3 minutes apart, the girls refused to recognize Matt as part of the tripledom. In their eyes, they were twins with an identical brother. Nothing more, nothing less. That arrangement was okay with Matt because he preferred the lone status as the only male child in the family and never ceased to hold it over the girl's head that he was the eldest. Vet continued on into the bathroom, locking the door and beginning her morning ritual. Net was on the verge of slipping into a few more minutes of coveted sleep when suddenly Matt turned up the volume on his stereo, blasting Nellie's new song all over the house. Ordinarily, Net didn't mind, but this morning, all she wanted was to sleep. I'ma tell Ma you blasting that music all over the house. Turn it down, she yelled. You know she don't want that music so loud. Turn it down. Make me, he yelled back. Just then, the phone rang, and like magic, the music ceased. As peaceful quiet settled over the house like a blanket, Matt tore from his room in a vain attempt to reach the phone first, but he was too late. Net was standing in the middle of the living room floor with a triumphant grin on her face, holding the phone in her hand. When Matt saw her with the phone, he dropped to his knees, clasped his hands in front of him, and silently begged his sister not to tell. When he heard her tell their mother all was well, that she had already taken her shower, that Vet was in the shower as they spoke, and that Matt was in his room getting dressed, he exhaled, slowly rose, and went back to his room.